Sengupta. Our, our speaker for today is a distinguished educator, naturalist, lepidopterist, and a researcher on butterflies, and has been documenting their life cycles for much more than a decade. He's a founder member of the Bangalore Butterfly Club, and after a BE in Electronics and Telecom Engineering and MCA, he was in the domain of IT too. He has had experience as a teacher for 38 years, including teaching computer science in Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Bangalore, where he was instrumental in helping the students set up a butterfly club and a butterfly garden. He has been the recipient of awards including the Green Teacher Award in 2018, the Outstanding Environmentalist Award in 2024, and the National Award for Teachers in 2024. He has several publications to his credit, including the discovery of a new silver line butterfly from Cool. Mr. Ashok Sengupta is also a member of the IUCN Species Survival Commission for Lepidopteran in South Asia. He has been a mentor to many with his patient guidance and help in learning about the wonderful world of butterflies. And today, we have him again helping us learn about the confusing skippers, giving us hope that we don't have to skip them anymore. With his talk, Skippers, you won't skip them. Over to you, sir.
Uh, good evening, one and all. Most of you are my friends. We know each other very well, and we'll dive into a session where I will be mostly discussing about skippers and some skippers which are commonly seen but difficult to distinguish among themselves. So I'll try to make the slides in that way, and it will be a kind of long session. Kindly bear with me. I have to go through about 36 slides and I'll try to finish it in 1 hour. So if you have questions, please type them in chat box. I have deliberately skipped a few species which are very distinct and not very commonly seen in the vicinity. So those skippers I have skipped because those skippers are not for everyone to see. It requires a special endeavor to see them. So let me share the screen and start my session. So today's topic is skippers, you won't skip them. I will try to make things very simple for most of us, but you need to have some basic understanding of butterfly morphology to understand the slides. I will try to be very elaborative upon the things I'm going to say so that those who are new don't miss them, or they are able to understand what I'm trying to show them. So skippers won't skip them. Comparative presentation of skippers of peninsular India and especially the Western Ghats. Now, introduction to the Hesperidae family. The Hesperidae is the skippers family. We call them in our general terms. And this family in Western Ghats comprises of 83 species. And I'm going to take most of them, not all, in today's presentation. Now, these skippers are, why they are called skippers? Because they have a stout body and they sometimes resemble the moths and because of their body structures. But we know that skippers have the antenna, which are a butterfly antennae, and the clubbed or hooked antennae. That's why they are in the butterfly and not in moths. They are having powerful flights. And the legs, the tibia have prominent spurs. That means that the legs here, the legs, your tibia is the display part of the leg where you have got spurs. Spurs are like thorny structures from the leg, which are very prominent in skippers. And resting postures of this are sometimes, forewings are raised and hind wings are flat, and sometimes they are totally flat. So this is how these skippers are generalized. So we'll be learning more about them in the following slides. Now, this Hesperidae in India, they're further divided into about 5 subfamilies. These subfamilies include the Collidanes, where we've got owls, owlets, and owlkings are there. There are Edumenini, the marbled flats, the Hesperinae, which is the largest one, having bobs, hoopers, swifts, and darts. Heteropterae, the mountain hoppers, which is not found in Western Ghats. They are only a few species from India. And Pyrogeny are the angles and flats. So we'll be covering each subfamily in details with comparison of similar species. Now, the first family, Culidae, consists of owls and its relatives. And we have got the features include long pointed palpi. Palpi is the this portion of the in front of the head. It's called the palpi. This is pointed palpi and projecting noticeably forward. This palpi is noticeably forward. It has strong, fast flyer, and mostly they are crepuscular. Crepuscular means they are active during dusk and dawn. Okay, and uniform, early or orange-brown coloration. And many species rest on tree trunks vertically. Some have, like all kings, have a tail-like position in the hind wing. And you see the all king here, Indian all king, there's a tail-like position in the hind wing. So this is the basic structure of this particular subfamily called the Culidae, the owls and its relatives. Now I go to the next slide, which is basically simple comparison of three most common owls which we find in our vicinity. These are the common banded owl, the white banded owl, and the plain banded owl. As you can see, in the common banded owl, this is the discal band, which is always white, bluish white, thin, and diffused slightly outwards. You can see that there is a this particular band which is milky white, bluish white, and it is not that broad. It is not that broad, and it is diffuse to the outer edge. Okay, and this band also do not touch the costa here. Here it is not touching. Can you see this band? It is not completely touching the costa. This is one of the main distinguishing feature of this common banded owl. In the white banded owl, which is basically a Western Ghat species, and we find that here in Peninsular India, the white discal band is very prominent, broad, and it is from bottom to the costa. It is touching everywhere. It is touching the costa here, and this is white, very white band. And the last one is the plain banded owl, which is having a similar to the your common banded owl, but the discal band is quite broad and it is diffused outwards, and also the band touches the costa here. It is touching the end. That is the very important part. And this band is very broad, as if somebody has used a chalk and marked it on the hind wing, and in such a way that one side of the chalk is touching the screen that is on the wing very prominently, other side is loosely. So we have a chalk mark of this side, that is the diffused outside. So these are the three owls, and the fourth owl is common owl, which is very distinctive and can be easily identified. So there are four owls in Western Ghats: common banded owl, the white banded owl, and the plain banded owl. These three owls are there. I think it made it very simple for you to understand how to distinguish thin band, thick band, diffuse outside, diffuse slightly outside. And white banded owl is having a very, very prominent white band, and it is not diffused. It is both the sides. You can see it is having it is very restricted and not diffused. Now I come to because I'm not covering other species in this, because all these species are distinctive, and we have got orange owlets, we have got all kings, we have got orange tail owl, we have got pale green owlets, we have got brown owls. So these are all known species, and they're very distinct, and you need not have a comparison between the two, all these species. I go to the next slide. I come to the next subfamily called the grasskeepers of the Hesperinae. These are having short and antennae short. Wings are usually brown to orange or dull yellow with small spots, often perched with forewings partly raised and hind wings flat. Larvae of these a particular subfamily feeds on grasses, bamboos, and sedges. So this is the main identification or the features of this simple features of these particular skippers. I come to there are various tribes under the subfamily. There are tribes. So the several tribes are there in this Hesperinae family. I'll take the first tribe, which is basically called the Baurani. Next is Hesperinae, Terectocerani, and Ariomachini. So these are the various the four tribes of this. And Baurani has the swifts. Hesperinae has the darters, and Terectocerani has the darts and dartlets. Ariomachini has aces, bobs, hoopers, red eyes, our palm darts, dartlets, no, demons, palmers, lancers, flitters, all these come under this particular tribe. So I will take some of them and make you understand the different similarities of these particular group of skippers. Now, before we can go to the swifts, now first we will take the swifts. So you need to understand a very important thing which I have tried to clarify here. These are strong flyers, and they have contrasting white discal spots. Disc is this area. This area is called the disc area. So this area, discal area, has got contrasting spots, white spots, folded or pointed foreing. Parnara, Pelopidas, Boris, Caltoris, Polymentris, Pseudoborbo, etc. are coming under this particular tribe. And you can see very interesting feature is, see, there are spots. It starts with, here there are spots, 1A, 1B, and 1C spots are there. And there is a spot at space 2. This is the spot at space 3. There is a spot at space 4. And there is no spot in space 5. Very significant. You can see here also, there is no spot in space 5. And there are 3 apical spots from space 6, space 7, and space 8. This is the general structure of these swifts. Also, they have cell spots. Some of them have cell spots. Some of them do not have cell spots. Hope you understand the structure. Please keep it in mind. You can take a screenshot and keep it with you for the further slides which I am going to present, where these spaces and the spots in these spaces will be discussed in great details. Okay, so please take a screenshot of this particular and keep it with you. So I'll proceed next. If you have taken the screenshot, I'll go to the next slide. Now, first, I'm going to come to the Pelopidas identifications. So I have taken the very two common Pelopidas species which are found in our vicinity. One is the Pelopidas agna, all the obscure branded swift, and Pelopidas matthias, called the small branded or the dark branded swift. You can see that these species, if you see very the underwing, so these are dark brown or reddish brown, we can say that. This is because of maybe dry season form. This is showing this, but both are having similar color. And you see that discal band is very curvy in the Pelopidas matthias. Can you see there are 6 to 7 spots, curvy with a presence of a cell spot. All Pelopidas has a cell spot. This is called the hindwing cell spot. This is the key identification feature of a Pelopidas species. And in Pelopidas matthias, this is curved. And in agna, this is not fully curved. This is partially curved. And similar, there is a cell spot here. Can you see this? Same 5 to 6 spots are there. And there is a cell spot. Cell spot size varies. Mostly there are smaller in these two groups. Agna and matthias have small spots. And you can see that in males of this species, there is a brand here. You can see the brand here, and you can see the brand here. Brand is a white line which is present in the. It's a marking which is present in the males below the spot 2, below the spot 2, and it starts from the wing base, and the brand is present. Can you see this brand? And you see in Pelopidas agna. Just I'll shift this 1 second. There are 2 spots here which have unfortunately I have hidden. There are 2 spots. Can these two spots, can you see here? These 2 spots form a tangent with the brand. The imaginary line passing through the cell spots do not dissect the brand. This brand, and you see the brand here, if you are having a proper uh, device, you can see the brand here, which is light here. And the two spots or the cell spots are not bisecting not passing through the brand. This is the main feature of this Pelopidas agna. Whereas in Pelopidas mathias, this is the brand, and the imaginary line, it bisects the brand. This line through the cell, the imaginary line through the cell spot. There are two cell spots in them, both of them. Both this will bisect the brand. So this is the difference between agna. These are the most common skippers you will find in the field. In Bangalore, in South Western Ghats, everywhere, these are the most common skippers. Pelopidas agna and Pelopidas mathias. Hope this particular presentation or this particular screen has given you some idea how to distinguish between Pelopidas agna and Pelopidas mathias. I go to the next screen. Okay. Now, these are two very similar looking Pelopidas. One is the large branded swift and one is called the conjoint swift. So you should just see the difference. Both have very large spots in the hind wing. Can you see them? Very large spots. But as you can see here, in Pelopidas, that is called large branded swift, the spots are round. They are very circular in their shape. And in conjuncta or the conjoint swift, these are rectangular and they are not rounded. They are of various shapes other than round. This is the one difference which you can figure out, the difference between the large branded swift and because often in the field we find it very difficult to distinguish between the large branded swift and the conjoint swift. And second difference is, as you see in the that is the upper wing of the upper forewing, the spots here are largely rounded, and in your conjoint it is rectangular and not rounded. These spots are not. All of these are not having a spot in space 5. This is the 1B, 1A or 1B. What is it? 1A, I think. Then 2, 3, 4. There is no spot in space 5. Then 6, 7, and 8. And you see there are no brands in conjuncta. There are these two cell spots are conjoined. They are called conjoined. They are almost touching each other. That's why they are called conjoined. And this is the conjoined. And these are not circular spots. These are rectangular spots. Whereas in case of the large banded swift, these spots are circular. And they are well separated from each other. You can see the cell spots. They are separated from each other. Here they are very close to each other. Almost they are touching each other. This is the difference between a conjoint swift and the large banded swift. Now you'll be asked me how it is different from our obvious that this large banded swift, how it is different from our mathias, Pelopidas mathias. As I told you, Pelopidas mathias, the spots are very small, and in large banded swift, the spots are larger. That's the way you can, very large, very prominent large skipper with spots. This is your large branded swift. It is always in the field. This species is, both of them are larger than the mathias and agna in size. Okay. And otherwise they look the same except for the spots, the size of the spots. But in the field, these two look almost same if they are not opening their wings. I come to the next. The rice swifts. The rice swifts comes under the genus Borbo and Pseudoborbo. Okay. And always there is a question whether it's a rice swift or a Bevan swift. It's always a question. Again, today I'm going to make it clear. Now, in these in this particular lesser, this is rice swift Borbo bevani. In the hind wing, there are 3 spots. There are 3 spots in the hind wing. maybe small in size, maybe variable size. There are 3 spots in the hind wing. Whereas in the Bevan swifts, the spots are very unique. You can go and check your images where you have figured out or not. There are sports spots here in the hind wing disc, very tiny spots round, and one swift spot which is little shifted in. This is shifted in. This is the unique feature only to be found in Pseudoborbo bevani. And if you are unable to see the open wing, this is the way you can distinguish between the two. And secondly, in the rice swift, the Borbo Kinara, we have these spaces 2, 3, 4. These are equidistant and they are rectangular in shape. They are equidistant. Space in 2, 3, 4 are rectangular and they are having equidistant. They are equidistant from each other. Whereas in the Bevan swift, the space 3 spot is closer to the space 2 spots as compared to the space 4. From space 4, and all the spots are circular. Can you see the rounded spots? This particular species, Borbo bevani, Pseudoborbo bevani, is found in the higher elevations of Western Ghats, little higher elevations, not at the sea level. At lower elevation, only Kinara is found, but at higher elevation, both Bevani and Kinara are found. And this particular Bevan swift I have photographed from Honey Valley. So Honey Valley, you can see them. Even I have found Bevan swift in Bangalore. I have got photograph documentation, but Kinara is more common, most common here. And you see the difference here. This spot in space 3 is closer to space 2 rather than in space 4. And in this, all are equidistant. And they may or may not have cell spots. These cell spots may be there or may not be there. This is variable, the cell spots. Okay. This is the difference between rice swift and lesser rice swift. I go to the next slide. There's another swift, which is very unique, which is called the contagious swift. The contagious swift, Polymetris lubricans, is a very large butterfly, which underside is yellowish brown with faint variable white spots. I did not get a underwing photograph, so I could not put it. And you see the cell spots are conjoined and the spot in space 2 is very large. That is the most distinguishing feature of this species. Can you see this? This is very, very prominent. Large spot in space 2. If you can see this butterfly open wing with a large spot in space 2, that signifies that it is a contagious swift. And the color of the underside is yellowish brown. The spots are there, but they are very small and faint. They are not very prominent as you see in Pelopida species. And the cell spots are conjoined. They are touching each other, and there is always a spots in 1P. This spot is always present. This spot is always present. So they may be small, but it is always there. This is one of the skippers which is not matching with any one of the swifts which I have seen till now because of this large space spot in space 2. I go to the next slide. Blank swift versus Philippine swift. This is a very, always there is a question mark what is blank swift or see, this is the feature of the blank swift and the Philippine swift is the base color. See, blank swifts, why they are called blank? Because there is no cell spot. Here also in Philippine swift there is no cell spot. Cell spot is missing. Okay, and the color is rusty brown and having 1 or 2 spots in the hind wing, rusty brown color. And this is greenish brown. This is very, very significant. This is greenish brown and rusty brown. That color you must be able to figure out easily. So this is greenish brown and this is rusty brown. And in Kerala, they are found in the same, sometimes they are overlap. But in Maharashtra, their Philippine swift is very common. And there is one prominent spot in space 1B for females. And here also there is a spot in 1B for female. Males do not have a spot in 1B. Okay, this is the difference between Filipina, and they are always confusing. It is always confusing to get a Philippine Swift, compare between Philippine Swift and blank Swift. They are same size, almost same size. Sometimes blank Swift is larger than the Philippine Swift, but the base color you must see. One is rusty brown, one is green. Green scales are there in the Philippine Swift. This is the main distinguishing feature between the blank Swift and the Philippine Swift. Now I come to two more Swifts. One is recently described by Dr. Kalesh and Krishnamik. One is called the Brahmas Swift, and one is called the our Karwar Swift, Kanara Swift. See, they look little similar because of the presence of conjoined cell spot in our this Karwar Swift, which we Bangaloreans often see here. There are two versions. One is the wet season form, one is the dry season form. Dry season form always have a white band on the hind wing. This white band is always present, and the cell spots are elongated. You can see the cell spot here, elongated. In the Brahmos Swift, which was recently described, you can see that upper cell spot is triangular and smaller, and lower cell spot is rounded. Can you see? The upper cell spot is triangular, and the lower cell spot is rounded. This is one of the distinguishing feature of the Brahmos Swift, and the paler rusty brown color in the hind wing. This is a very rare swift found in Western Ghats. I have included it because they fall under the category of the Caltoris, and Caltoris is a genus. We have got a few species in only four species, known species in Western Ghats, and I have tried to keep all four together so that we can understand them. And in also 1B spot is present in this Brahmas. Very rare. I have included it for the because I have taken permission from Kalesh that I want to share this particular identification keys of Brahmos Swift, and it credit goes to the tremendous work by the Kerala people to discover new things in Western Ghats. And this was described by Kalesh and Dr. Krishna Meg a few maybe 1 or 2 years back or recently. This is the difference between your Karwar Swift and the Brahma Swift. Now I come to the next category of darts and dartlets. See, darts and dartlets have a broad yellow-orange streaks on a dark brown background. See, this is the feature of darts and dartlets. See, the difference between darts and dartlets, as you can see, including the palm dart. In dartlets, there is no spot in space 5, whereas in darts, there is a spot in space 5. It is all covered. Can you see this? Space 4 and space 5. There, space 5 has a spot. It is the main difference which distinguishes the dartlets from the darts. When you see a dart, you can figure out that these apical spots are there, 3. There are also apical spots are there, but there is always a space 5 spot in the darts. So, which will make it distinguished from the dartlets. This is how even the palm darts also have the same feature. Okay, this is the basic difference between darts and dartlets. I'll come to the specifics now. The dark palm dart versus the pale palm dart. See both these skippers in the field look the same, the dark and the pale. Only the difference is if you are comparing both the skippers together in the underwing, the pale palm dart is a bigger skipper than the dark palm dart. The size is always big. That is the one. And of course, dark palm darts are mostly seen near the bamboo plantations and sugar cane and those field areas. Pale palm darts are seen because they breed on sugar cane and that kind of vegetation. And the dark palm dart always breeds on bamboo. And the difference is, see this, the discal and the coastal bands are conjoined. See, this is the discal band and this is the coastal band. They are joining together because of the presence of the spot in space 5. The space 5 spots covers the whole thing. Here also they are covered. This is all covered. This is covered. And the main difference is the discal band veins extend up to the turmen in the case of pale. This is a very, very pronounced tooth structure and the veins here are very, very long, and they touch the turban here. This is the main difference between the pale palm dart and the dark palm dart, where in dark palm dart, this is not the case. These are not prominent. They are very reduced, and they don't extend up to the turban. They are very small. Sometimes they are not, will not be able to see them, but here you have to see them. And one more thing in this Telecota species, if you want to distinguish the male and female, there will be greenish brand in this area for the males. Females will lack that. If we want to make what is a male or a female, both the species, you can see that if there are greenish scales here inside this area, we call them as male, whereas in females, these are absent. And the third species, which is very similar to them, which is called the plain palm dart, you can see that this coastal band, it is very narrow and it is not touching the discal band and the apical spots. So here the apical spots are merging with the coastal band. Here the apical spots are separated from the discal band, and also there are black outer spots over the discal band, which is very commonly present in case of the plain palm dart. Plain palm dart is also called variable plain palm dart because of the lot of variations in the species in field, and the female is quite distinct from the male. Male looks more like your other palm darts, but the female is quite distinct, and that's the distinct and quite variable in color. And because of this is called a variable plain palm dart. You can see that in the hind wing also, the black spots in the outer periphery of the discal band is very prominent. Both hind wing as well as for the hind wing and the forewing, you can see these spots for the plain palm dart male. This is the difference between the three palm dart, dark palm dart, pale palm dart, and the plain palm dart. I'll go to the next slide now if you are done with it. And one more thing. The next is about the dark palm dart. I go to the dartlets. There is two dartlets found in Western Ghats. One is called the Indian dartlet, Oriens golidus, and next one is called the Tamil dartlet, the Oriens consina. The main ecological feature is consina is always found at higher elevations, and the golidus is found at lower elevation to mid elevations. This is the feature. And see, there are two cell spots here. Can you see the two cell spots here? 1 and 2. This is called the lower cell spot. This is called the upper cell spot. And the lower cell spot is separated from the space 2 with a vein. Because of this, a vein, this is separated. This is not touching. And both of them are separate from each other. There are two cell spots. This upper cell spot is present in the Oriens, and it is absent in consina. There is no upper cell spot. This is the main difference between consina and the Oriens golidus. Of course, and you can see the base color also, the dirty yellowish brown for this that consina, and bright orange color for the yellow to orange color for the dartlet. And this is the difference between Tamil dartlet and the Indian dartlet. Whenever you go to Honey Valley and you try to, or Bangalore people, when you go to Honey Valley, you will see many dartlets which I photographed from that area are Tamil dartlets rather than the Indian dartlet. So I was going through my records, and I could see them because many of them doesn't have this cell spot. Okay, this is about Indian dartlet and Tamil dartlet. Next slide is very interesting. You may be visiting Northeast and other places. There's another dartlet called common dartlets, which is called the Oriens gola, which is present along with the Indian dartlet in many areas in eastern part of our country. I have deliberately included this slide because I was very anxious to learn about the difference. You see the lower cell spot in Oriens gola is merged with the discal band, and here it is separated from the discal band using a vein. How interesting! The lower cell spot is separated from the discal band, and the lower cell spot is merged with the discal band. This is the distinguishing feature between Orion's Gola and Orion's Golaides. Hope next time you go to the field and try to photograph these dartlets, the features are that there is that fifth spot is missing. It is showing a little bit, but this is sometimes this is obscure and not prominently present. Maybe Golite is there, but in Golite it is not there. It is not there. So I have to figure out the Gola in the field. I've not seen them yet, but I can tell you the difference, which is scientifically documented, and this is the difference between Gola and Golaitis. I go to the next one, the Potenthus. As I see, Potenthus is a very variable group where a lot of species are there, and we cannot identify them without a genitalia. The the basic difference comes from a few morphological features, which I'm going to discuss here, but I'm not going to tell which is what. Okay, still I have not named anyone. There is called common dart, there is called Chinese dart, and there is called pellet dart, and there is called Palni dart. These are the four common darts found in our Western Ghats. Here, you can see these apical spots are conjoined with the band, discal band. Here you see the apical spots are little separated from the band. Not fully, little separated. And here you can see the apical spots are completely separated from the band. So these are three distinct species. They are not the same. But I cannot surely say which is what. So that's why I have not gone into details of the identification and named them as your common dart or pellet dart or Chinese dart. So I leaving it to you and the researchers to figure out which is what. But you can easily see the difference here. All are having space 5, and this is touching the discal band. This is little separate from the discal band, and this is completely separated from the discal band. And you will find similar variation. It is very variable, so it's very difficult to identify them using the external traits. So I'm leaving this particular group for now. I come to the aces. There are two aces which are commonly found. There are other aces also. There are Thoresa, that is called Madras ace is there. There is Evershed ace is there. Sitala ace is there. But they are very, very distinct, and I'm not included them in this particular. Northern spotted ace is there. I'm not included those skippers here. I have used two skippers. One is called the Moor's ace or the bispot banded ace, and it's called the Indian ace. These two aces I have included. And both the aces, all the aces are having checkered cilia. That is very important part of this. They are having checkered. Checkered means bicolored, just like the highway borders. So when you go to highway, you will see yellow and orange markings on the roadside or road dividers. Similarly, there are wing margins are checkered in aces. And in Halpe, this is the dry season form, that because of this is looking very distinct, and this is the wet season form of bispotted. But sometimes in that wet season form also, Indian ace looks the same as the bispot banded ace. So mostly the distinguishing feature is because of the open wing, where there are two cell spots in bispot banded ace, and there is only a single cell spot in the Moor's ace. That is the difference between the Moor's ace and the Indian ace. And there are many other aces in Northeast. They cannot be distinguished only using the morphological feature. You have to catch them, you have to process them and sequence them genitalia, then you can distinguish what is what. So in South, we don't have that particular problem. So it is very easy for us to understand these aces. Now, the palm bobs. The palm bobs, the distinguishing feature is black spot on UNH. Okay, and there is a cell spot, and there are a variable number of black spots on the discal area of the palm bob. In the small palm bob, which is a Ghat species, it is found everywhere. And the Ghat species, and there is a whitish scales on the brown wing. Whitish scales are there, and very inconspicuous cell spot. The cell spot may be present, may not be present. And one tiny cell spot is there in the in the end of the cell. This is the one cell spot for a small palm bob. One cell spot. And you see one more interesting thing. There are two cell spots here which are conjoined, and they are over. Sometimes we see an open wing, we don't see the closed wing. So you'll see that these two cell spots are placed over the spot in space 2. It is not separated. Cell spots are not inside the cell, but it is shifted outwards toward the end of the cell, and it is resting just above diagonally to the rectangular spot on space 2. This is one of the major feature which I use to identify whether it's a palm bob or not. I just see this because sometimes we have an open wing, we don't have the closed wing. I just check these two spots whether they are lying over the this spot or not. Okay, that's how we distinguish between a palm bob from the open wing. And this small palm bob is a large species, and this they all breed on that cane, calamus, this kind of coconut trees also they can breed the palm bobs. This is the difference between that Indian palm bob and small palm bob. I come to the demons. There are two demons, the three demons rather. One is very distinct, which is the grass demon. I have not covered the grass demon here. I have covered the two similar demons, the common banded demon and the restricted demon. As you see, in common banded demon, there is only one spot at space 4. Only one spot. And the discal band reaches the costa. It is going and touching the costa here. This is the discal band. And in restricted demon, there are apical spots present, and there are spots in space 3, 4, and 5. There are 3 spots here along with apical spots. And the discal band is not touching the costa. It is separated. There is no way it is touching the costa. That is how it restricted demon called a restricted, because this band is restricted to reach the costa. That's why I call a restricted demon. Common banded demon, this is not the case. It is going and touching the costa. This is the difference between the common banded demon and the restricted demon. There is another called spotted demon in the north. That is there. You see that this particular band is going and touching. All spots are present. Apical spots are also present. This band is going and touching the costa there. That is the spotted demon. Now I come to the Parnara genus. Parnara, in India, there are 3 species known. One is only one of them is been included in the Indian Foundation of Butterflies as a species. That is the Himalayan straight sweep. Other are kept under uniform category called Parnara. But this Parnara genus needs a lot of revisions. And when you see a Parnara, an open wing, always we require to have the closed wing. If you don't have the closed wing, it is difficult to distinguish whether it's a Parnara. That is grayish brown, the dull brown color. The base color is dull brown. There are no cell spots in Parnara. And the spots in 2, 3, 4 are equidistant. That's these spots are, as we have seen, this is the same case with your Borbo also. 2, 3, 4 the space, these spots are equidistant. And there are 2 subapical spots. Only 2. There are not 3 spots. There are 2 spots here. Can you see these spots? And in the Himalayan straight sweep, these spots are in line and straight and very bright, straight, and from reducing manner. From the bottom to the top, it is in reducing the largest to the smallest. But here you can see the Parnara Bada, as you say, there are spots are hanging are they are not in line. They are circular and they are not uniform and they are not in line. Similarly, in Parnara Ganga also, they are not very uniformly straight, and but these are speculative. We have not yet been able to figure out which is what. So, number of work is required to figure out and make it very clear morphological traits of Parnara genus. So, I'm not going to go beyond this to discuss about the Parnara sweeps. Now, I come to the flats and angles. The pyrogeny, the flats and angles. They are flats, the wings held flat and open horizontally when at rest. Broad wings and squared margins, often black, gray, and dark brown with pale spots. Shorter, more pointed palpi compared to the Colodini. The palpis are shorter, and in the Colodini, the palpis are basically longer, elongated palpi. Here is shorter. So these are two here. One I have, they have not discussed these two. This is the black angle, and this is the yellow-breasted flat. So both are found in Western Ghats. The black angle, it is very easy to distinguish. It is the dry season form of black angle. There is a small white, very prominent spot on black angle. This spot, and you see this is a very pointed kind of this the tip apical apex is pointed in this particular flats and angles. This is the two one that's white cell spot, which is very present only in black angle, and it's prominently seen, and that is distinguishes it from other similar flats. And this is a very distinct species, yellow-breasted flat. I will not discuss it here. Now, the tribes in Phyrogyny are the marble skippers, the Indian grizzle skippers comes under uh, Car Car Carcharodini. And there is the second one is spotted flats. The Tagadini is the pied flats. And these are the two tribes which are not found in Western Ghats. And they are found in the Himalayan areas. So I'm not going to discuss this. I'm going to discuss all the three, the skippers, the spotted flats, and the pied flats and angles. So you can see the marble skipper, which is a part of the first tribe. The spotted flats are the parts of the second tribe, and the pied flat, the tricolor pied flat is a part of the third tribe. Let me discuss some of them. And you see the first one, rough, the first tribe, rough mottled wing texture, checkered patterns, and earthly tones. The genus is Spialia. It has got two Spialias in Western Ghats. One is the Indian grizzle skipper, one is the Asian marble skipper. These two are very distinct species, so I need not discuss much about them. You have all seen these two skippers, Indian skippers and the Asian marble skippers. Now I come to the next, spotted flats. So spotted flats, males often with four-wing brands. Males have four-wing brands. Large, bright white spots on the dark background, and there are two genus here, Sarangasa and Celadorius. This is the spotted flat, and this is the small flat. Sarangasa purandra, this is a spotted small flat. I'm going to discuss this, and the common spotted flat. Let me go to the next slide, which will discuss more about the spotted flats. So the first two spotted flats, one is the common spotted flat, and second one is the dusky spotted flat or the Tamil spotted flat. You see what is the difference between this? So the males have white antenna, first stage, and white shaft is white in males, and females have brown shaft with white club. Keep it in mind when you see this flat. If you want to distinguish male and female, this is white shaft for males, and females have a brown shaft with white club. This is the distinguishing feature of the end cell spot is joined to the large quadrate spot of space 2. This is the space 2 spot, and this is the cell spot. This cell spot and the space 2 spot are joined together. This is one feature. Second one is faint yellow spot, the elongated space spot, and we have got these faint yellowish spots in the hind wing. This is the when they are sitting in the UPH. We can saw UPH. The UPH has got this particular feature, and you see this when they are joined together. Always in Western Ghats, these two are joined. That means it's a common spotted flat. Nothing to worry about beyond that. When you see this, the joint, common spotted flat, simple. And the dusky spotted flat, the end cell spot is separated from the spot in space 2. These two are separated. Very little near, little conjoined, but still they are separated. And hind wing is spotless. You see the difference. This hindwing is having paler yellow spots. Here hindwing is spotless, and they are having lot of hairs here. Hindwing have hairs, and these obscure spots are because of the presence of hair. When you see the UPH, the hindwing, when you will be always mostly seeing the this posture, they were sitting, they're resting. There are spots there, but they are covered by the hairy structures in this hindwing. The hindwing make the particular spots obscure. Okay, and this discal brands are very pale and not to be seen. We can see that the spotless. If we can consider them as spotless for the dusky spotted flat or the Tamil spotted flat. And in common spotted flat, or both the cilias are checkered. The cilias are checkered in both the cases in the hindwing. You see the hindwing, the cilias are checkered only in the hindwing. And we go to the next slide. We have got the Malabar spotted flat and the restricted spotted flat, or called the Bengal spotted flat. You see, in Malabar spotted flat, the end cell spot is widely separated from the spot in space 2. This here you have seen that this is conjoined, almost touching. This is completely touching. It is fused. Here it is little separated. Here it is quite largely separated. And there are 3 rows of yellow spots, very spotted, highly spotted. It's called Malabar spotted flat, highly spotted. And out of these 2 rows are having obscureness because of the hairs. These 2 rows are covered with hair, but still the spots are visible. It is highly spotted. There are 3 rows of spots, 1, 2, and 3. And the outermost row is visible, and rest 2 are obscured because of the presence of hair. And Malabar spotted flat is having lot of Bengal spotted flat or the restricted spotted flat. In the UPF, not the UNF. When it is resting UPF, there are no spots in this area. That's why it's called restricted spotted flat, because this not touching here. There is spotted flat and Bengal spotted flat. It was recently, in the recent year, it was discovered in Western Ghats. And it has got, in the hind wing, we have got 3 rows of very profound yellow spots. Out of that, 2 are visible. 1 is not visible because of the hair. Because of the presence of hair, the first row is obscured, and the rest 2 rows are visible. And the cilia is checkered in both the cases, in marble spotted flat, Malabar spotted flat, and the restricted spotted flat. This is the distinguishing feature between these 2. So we have got 4 spotted flats: common spotted flat, dusky spotted flat. The distinguishing feature are the cell spot and the spot in space 2 here. And you go here, spotted in this dusky spotted flat, these 2 are conjoined. These 2 are conjoined. It is conjoined. They are touching each other. But there is no white spot above the cell to costa. But in the UNF, the spot is visible. UNF, the spot is visible. The common small flat and the spotted small flat. So it's a very interesting, this particular species doesn't have spots. The spot has no checkered cilia in common spotted flat, whereas in that spotted small flat, there is a checkered cilia. The cilia is checkered and faint but very distinct spots all over the body. 1 row, 2 row, 3 row spots all over the body you can see for the spotted small flat. They are of same size. This is found in forested area. This is mostly found in the dry areas, the spotted small flat. Now I come to the pipe flats and angles. So we have got the black angle, the Caprona genus. So there are 3 genus here. The first is angle hind wings and margins. Distinctive forewings are very pointed forewings. All of them are having pointed forewings. And one is Caprona, one is Tegadis, one is Tapena, one is Coladenia. I have taken four examples from here: the black angle, the Alida angle, the suffuse snow flat, and the the what is called the tricolored pied flat. These four I have selected for this pied flats and angles. Now, first distinguishing feature is between the common snow flat and the suffuse snow flat. It's very easy to distinguish. They look the same. Only in suffuse snow flat, the discal spots are in a uniform curve. There are four discal spots which are in uniform curve. Whereas in the common snow flat, these are not in line. The central two are separated outwards. These spots are separated outwards, and these spots are inwards. That's the difference between suffuse snow flat, and this is the main difference. Don't have to see other spots because there are other distinguishing features which I'm not discussing here. I'm discussing the main feature which may give you a quick reference to distinguish between the two in the field. So you have look for these hind wing discal spots, the suffuse snow flat and the common snow flat. Now, angles. This is the spotted angle. And spotted angle has got a WSF, wet season form, and the dry season form. Now, sometimes you will be wondering, because this dry season form of the spotted angle resembles almost the same with the dry season form of the golden angle. But if you look at very carefully, you'll see that these apical spots, can you see these spots here, these black spots? See, these are spots. After the form changes, these apical spots remain black in the DSF. They are black. There is no golden touch anywhere. So these are always remains black in spotted angle. And you go to the next slide, the golden angle. As you see here, the dry season form of golden angle, the apical spots has golden color in DSF. The spots are black, but their edges are having, outer edges are having golden color. It is always there. In spotted angle, this is always black, and golden angle, it is always having the yellowish color. And also the intermediate form is also there, and the wet season form is there, and this is the dry season form. This is the golden angle dry season form, and this is the spotted angle dry season. The hind wings are also very interesting in the wet season form, where spots are very prominent. It's a male and having the sense scales which are coming out from the thorax, and this is the dry season form of the same that spotted angle. And this is the golden angle, and the wet season form and the dry season form. See, they are having golden spots here, yellowish spots. Here also the yellow spots are coming in the dry season form. The Alida angle, as you see, Alida angle, it is found it's a rare butterfly. If you see the male, which is having this kind of hind wing, and this is the butterfly is very distinctive. In the female and the male, I have given a female and the male distinguishing feature. They look the same, but one is male and one is the female here. And maybe one is the dry season form, one is the wet season form. This also is a chance. This is the dry season form, and this is the wet season form. And what's the time now? Okay, I have taken my 1 hour, and you can see what are the key takeaways. Look for cell spots, discal bands, and UNH and UPH patterns. Tribes and genera often have distinctive shapes and distinct postures. Small differences is equal to big clues for skipper. That's very important. Small differences and a big clue. And field observations and follow photographs help to refine the IDs. This is what I have come to the conclusion. I've taken the 1 hour and tried to showcase out of the 83 species are some of the species which are similar to each other. I will take some questions after this. Thank you very much. And I'm going to discontinue this screen sharing. Any questions, please? Rohit has a question. Huh?
Yes, sir. So the question is from Rohit saying, can we ID Pelopidas with only closed wings?
Yes, yes, we can identify the both all the four. Pelavidas Agna, Pelavidas Matthias, Pelavidas that is your large banded swift, and the conjuncta. All four can be distinguished. I told you I've given the identity keys also. Let me share once again the screen, and it is not basically. Once again. Just once again. As you see, the hind wings are given. In Pelopidas Matthias, this hind wing is curved just like a half moon. Can you see this curve? Because of the presence of this spot, this is makes a pakka curve. This is the Pelopidas Matthias and a cell spot. And in Agna, the spot is there, but this is not having the full curvature. This is partially curved. This is the main difference between Agna and Matthias. Second is in the large banded swifts, the spots are large and rounded. In conjoint swifts, the spots are large but not rounded. They are elongated and rectangular. This is rounded spots for the large banded swift. I think I've made my point clear.
Yes, Dada. What I meant was, can that be conclusive, or do
It
we
is
need open wing
conclusive,
also?
90% conclusive. See, there are always chances of which I cannot deny, but till now I have not failed with this identification. Please.
Okay, cool.
Anything else? Any more questions?
Sir, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please, please.
Yes, please go ahead. Okay, we have a question from Apurva and Sharda. What is the difference between Pelopida species and palm darts? And they have added that they are beginners.
Okay. See, palm darts are having brown color, the base with yellow, bright yellow bands. All palm darts are same. See, bright colors are so.
She means
Huh?
she's added that not Pelopidas, but Potanthus and palm darts.
Potanthus and palm darts. I gave a very, see, Potanthus and palm darts. Palm darts are always, you see, this is a closed circle. Can you see the coastal band and the discal band? The presence of the space in space 5 makes it a closed circle. This is, and here in Potanthus, this discal, the coastal band is reduced and it is not extended up to the apical spots, apical band. There's a gap here. That makes it sense now. Hello? This is a closed, it is in enclosed structure. This is open structure. Open structure. This is very similar to in dartlets also. It's open structure. Only that there is no, yeah, there is no space, no spot in space 5. In dartlets, spot in space 5 in darts. Yes, anything else? Any questions?
Right now, we are not having any questions coming up. We'll wait for a minute. But in the meanwhile, thank you, sir, for your enlightening talk, because it's helping us, especially the beginners, to go from just saying this is family Hesperidae to saying it's an all or it's a skipper, and then further being able to say it's a swift or dartlet or dart or ace or bob or flat and so on, and further into specifically which ones. So I think from now, many of us who were avoiding and skipping the skippers will start looking
Hope
into
this
them
will give
much
some,
more.
I think, some idea to people when they go next time to the field. And they can, if they're taken screenshots of this particular presentation, it will be very easy for them to ID the skippers in the field.
Okay, we have one more question, sir, from
Yes.
Sandhya. Why do we find pseudo Borbo Bevani lesser rice swift in higher elevations? Why
Yeah,
do
it
they
is like
prefer
that
higher
only.
elevations?
I have seen them in Bangalore and that about up to 800, 900 to 1000 meters. I'm not. It is the habitat selection by the particular species. It is this simple habitat selection. So it is evolution and habitat selection. Many species are found at various elevations, elevation specific. Not only these, many other species. So Evershade says always higher elevation. Sitala is lower elevation. So this is mid elevation species are there. So in Western Ghats, it goes up to maybe 1,500 to 2,000 meters, and that's the elevation. So that is the highest elevation, 2,000 meters. So there we can see the Evershade days. We can't find them at the lower elevation. So even 1,000 meters they are not found. They have to go higher up. This is how things go. Even there are skippers. I think Brahmos Swift, which is found at a higher elevation by Dr. Kalesh. It's my guess. I've not seen that, read the paper completely. So this is evolution. This is evolutionary aspects. Why is this adaptation? Why some species have taken lower elevation and some have taken higher elevation? Am I clear with that? Hello.
So we have, I think that should be clear. Sir, we have another question here from Kumar Tapa. There is one more genus, Cephrenus. Any identification keys available from your
Which
side?
one? Which one?
Cephrenus, CEPHRENES.
One second. Yeah,
Man
I've
Kumar
given it.
Tapa.
Yeah, Man. You see it. See, this is plain palm dot. You're talking that's plain palm dot. I'm talking. Yes, ID keys are there. Unlike the dark palm dots, where you can see here, this coastal band is touching the discal band. It is complete. Here it is not complete. This is reduced that coastal band, and there's always a gap between. You can also see in the hind wing also. This is not complete. That the coastal band is here, ending here, and the discal band and is ending here with the apical spots here. This is the difference between this, and of course the presence of the black spots. These black spots in the the exterior end of this particular band. All these discal spots are accompanied with a black spot. All having black spots at the end tip. See, this is the difference. Man, I think I'm clear.
The next, we have another question. What is the difference between chestnut bob and Coorg forest bob?
Thank you.
Okay, chestnut bob, and I've not covered them. So I'll just try to bring them. I have to just okay. So I have to figure out whether I've got some images of that chestnut bob. I'm not used chestnut, but I'll show you through the website. Okay. Let me. I would go to iPhone butterflies. Can you see the screen? Could there see chestnut bob is small skipper and Coorg forest sort of skipper is a
Dada, we are
big
seeing
skipper.
your slide deck, not the iPhone butterflies.
Okay,
your presentation.
Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me close the sharing and let me go here. Can you see this now?
Yes.
See, it's a very, very common skipper, very small, tiny skipper. I have not included because it is so common and everybody knows it. See, it is having, there are two, one is eastern variation and the western variation. This is a very dull orange color with 3 spots in the hind wing. This is the chestnut bob. You can see there are chestnut bobs with the lesser. This is all. It's the Western Ghat variation as having less number of spots, and the two spots are obscured. They are not visible. This is a very small skipper, and you are talking about the. It is very commonly seen in a garden. The Coorg forest hooper. Forest hooper. Forest hooper. Kodagu forest trooper, as they say. See, it's quite a distinguished species. Can you see this? It is unlike the chestnut bob, which is having a very shorter, compact body. This body is little elongated, and in the presence of spots are also there. See, there are no spots here in the open wing. Only two spots that are here. It's my photo only. You can see this photo. This is the Kodagu forest trooper. Three spots here. There is a diffused band here. And there's a dry form and the wet form also. That little difference is there. And there is similar species is the Bindayan bob. The Kulis forest trooper have a very
the closed wing is distinct, but if you look at the open wing image, I think that's where the confusion will
No, there is no confusion. Kurk forest super has only one this spot here. Right. And your chestnut bob has multiple spots.
Correct.
Can you see this?
Yeah. So the angle at which you take the image is important. So that
that is, see, there is spots are not there. In chestnut bob, the spots are there. If I come to chestnut bob, if I show the open wing here, you see a lot of spots here. See the spots here?
Correct.
This is not present in your Kurk forest trooper. This discal band is not there, absent. Clear? And the Kurk forest, Kodagu forest trooper is a bigger butterfly than the chestnut bob, always.
Yes, and the next we have a question. Is it by Apurva and Sharda? Is it possible to distinguish common banded awl and brown awl through flight?
Through flight?
Common banded awl and brown awl through flight.
Brown awl through flight, though, it's a very tricky question. It requires very trained eyes to distinguish because they have got very fast flyers. And, it's very, very difficult. The brown color, if you see, it is a brown owl. If it is not brown, it is a different color. It may be a chestnut, that your common banded owl. But in flight, you should not try to identify species this way. This is not the way to distinguish, because if they sweat only, then we can do it because we have got experience in doing that somehow, but we may not be correct also, whatever we're trying to figure out. Hey, it's flying a brown owl, because it is pale brown color is there in brown owl. So if he is a pale brown color, you will make it that, okay, it's brown owl. Sometimes you're going to Western Ghats, say these owls are flying in the evening. It may be a orange owlet also, or maybe a hawking also. We don't know. They are so fast. So we never try to distinguish these skippers by flight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question from Rajat Joshi. How can we differentiate between red-eye butterflies based on UN?
Red eye, so we have got common red eye, which is pretty common, and we have got the palm red eyes. See, the common red eye is pretty. It is very reddish brown color. It's a common red eye. Matapa. Common red eye is basically it's the most simple butterfly to distinguish, because there are other red eyes also. This Matapa is only one in Western Ghats, but in Northeast there are many. So I'm not going to go to that details. So that the eye color is red and the reddish brown color and white cilia. This is the distinguishing feature of giant red eye is a big butterfly. It is twice the size of your common red eye.
And rounded palm red eye.
Giant red eye.
Banana skipper bhi hai.
Giant red eye Gangara. It's a very, very big, largest of the skippers. The eye is not red. It is red, but it is not that red as we've seen in the Matapa. It is reddish brown. Eye is reddish brown, and it is quite a distinctive skipper, crepuscular skipper, and it comes in the garden and lays eggs on our potted palms. It is very, very commonly seen. It is brown. The brown is very dark, whereas in banana skipper, it is Erinota has a pale brown color.
Rounded palm.
एक मिनट. See, it is the color is light brown, pale brown color. The eyes are dark brown, reddish brown, not red. Matapa is red. So all Matapa has red eyes. It's reddish brown, and it's quite distinct. You see, the color is unlike the Gangara, which is deep greenish brown, and here it is pale brown for this Aerodota. But if you ask me to see the eyes here, the eyes are reddish brown, not red. But there is a difference between thorax and all genitalia. Genitalia that is Adenota torus and Adenota thorax. We need to do a dissection to figure out which is what. Is that okay? Hello?
Dada. Can go to the next question.
Yeah. The next question from Austin. Can aberrations affect IDs?
Aberrations, not to that extent for known species. If you are an expert and if there is an aberration, especially aberrations we find in blues, most of the aberrations are found in blues. Skippers, the aberrations are not there. We call them variations. In skippers, there are no aberrations, there are variations. In blues, because of the temperature, there are aberrations. Cold to too hot and too warm. They are very sensitive to this seasonal changes. Aberrations to occur in blues. And for a trained eye, you can see the aberrations in lime blue and plain skippered. So if you see the aberrated lime blue and the plain skippered, if you are okay with the IDs, whether the spots are in line or they're broken or continuous, you'll be able to make out between the difference between the two. But if you are novice, you have to go and see iphone butterflies and see those aberrated specimens and figure out what is what. Of course, as I say that there are darts, Potanthus, it is very variable. So it is not aberration, it is a variable. Spots are variable. That is why we don't consider them as aberrations. That's why it is very difficult to distinguish the darts from one another. Potanthus.
The next question from Sandhya. Do we find myrmecophily only in Hesperidae and Lycaenidae?
Myrmecophily is not with Hesperidae. It is only with Lycaenidae. There is no myrmecophily with Hesperidae.
Okay. Sir. Next question from Rishi. Why have skippers evolved to be fast flyers in spite of resemblance to slow flying moths?
Skippers are known to
Why?
be the most evolved butterflies among all the 6 families. Skippers are the most evolved butterflies. They have evolved further. Okay. And the theory of evolution, I have not gone to that details, why and when it happened, but they found a way in the due course of time to evade predation because of their fast speed, and they evolved like moths. Because most of the skippers, you can see them, they are day flyers, they are diurnals, but some of them are crepusculars. They're found in the dusk and dawn, active. So that that is going slightly towards the moths, which are mostly nocturnal in nature. So why it has happened, and it is that the theory says that skippers are the most evolved of all the butterflies. So that's why they're fast. They have their lives are basically more safe than other butterflies as compared in comparison. So they are more safe. That's why they are very rare in the field to photograph them. So because of the evolution, they are more evolved. Beyond that, I can't answer.
Yes, sir. So I think we're done with most of the questions. If anybody else wants to ask a question, you can unmute and ask, or we will wind up the session. Anyone has any further questions?
There's one more question from Sandhiva.
Could you read out the question, Rohit?
I'm not able to understand the question properly. Maybe he or she could explain it.
You're saying the one about the Hesperidae and Lycaenidae?
Yes.
He just answered that. He
Oh, is
said
it?
that
Okay.
it's there only in Lycaenidae. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay. I think we're done with the questions. Yes. So thank you, sir, again for the really enlightening talk, I should say, because we've learned so many things that we're always having a doubt about otherwise. And for the viewers, I would like to inform you that our next talk is on the 12th. And please do join us again, where the talk would be by Nitin Ravikantachari on the 12th evening at the same time and the same Zoom IDs. And if you, the recordings of the previous year's talks are available on the Bangalore Butterfly Club channel on YouTube. So you can go through those too. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Ashok sir, again for that lovely talk. And see you all on 12th again.